And so what was coming to me was, hey, the really where, are you the question or are you the answer? And right now, there's a lot of people that are saying, hey, you know, we need answers from our government as to what you're going to do to make shit right. And then there are people on the side that are saying that all they have is questions. Right. Well, why aren't you mad about that? Why aren't you mad about that? No, stop. Why aren't you mad about this? Why aren't you protesting that? Why aren't you this? What about this? This is part of our history. What are you going to do this? You're going to take down this? And it's like, all you got is fucking questions. You know what I'm saying? If all you have is questions, if all you have is anger, then that's the problem. And that's why it's so important that everybody has to say, hey, Black Lives Matter. Because that's the answer. The answer is if Black lives don't matter, then no fucking lives matter. Yeah, yeah. I mean, same, I guess, same here. Just working with the business, working with getting the word out at a time like now, not just the word about our business, but the word in general of, public awareness and things like that. We just watched the Dave Chappelle show, 846. It's on Netflix. I definitely recommend that. Anybody who's into that, I would definitely go check that out. And just it's not really. I don't think it was a comedy set. I think he was just mainly. I think by design he was just getting some shit off his chest. You know what I'm saying? Rather than release a statement, I'll talk to my people. You know what I mean? So I think it was really good. One thing I wanted to kind of get out off is that um, T4J Radio, T4J Entertainment, T4J TV. Those things are their own separate entities. And what I mean by that is that those things operate as businesses and they have their own company line, their own opinion. The TMC4JMC show, which is its own entity, which is what we do here, and we have other people on, and I wanted to kind of get it out there because I haven't really addressed it, but what I say on this show doesn't necessarily, I don't necessarily speak for you. I don't necessarily speak for the other people that work with us and for us, especially those that are never going to be on the radio or on TV. Um, I don't necessarily speak for the guests. Everybody is welcome to speak your opinion and give your opinions. Encouraged, actually. Silence is kind of like discouraged because then you don't. That'll be you don't have an opinion. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean you agree with me or don't agree with me because you were silent. It just means you don't have an opinion. Coffee. and so and so, you know, I never want to. I just want to put that divide there for the radio, for things like that, because there may be shows that we produce. There may be things that we discover, we report that I have no allegiance to and I don't agree with. But T4J TV, T4J Radio, and anything that is on there will be backed by somebody who does. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the place to speak your mind, to get your information out, to do that. And and the reason why I wanted to kind of like bring that up is because I'm kind of jumping around a little bit on my program. Is that the word First Amendment, the First Amendment terms and all that stuff is being thrown out there a lot right now, and I just think that our peoples need to kind of like understand, what the First Amendment really is. You know, I'm no lawyer. We know a couple, but this is my interpretation of it. And actually, what do you think the First Amendment? means. You know, not word for word, but just your if you had to say, like, what do you think freedom of speech means?
I mean, freedom of speech is the ability to be able to express yourself and speak your mind
Anywhere, everywhere.
anywhere, everywhere, and um, yeah, without expecting any kind of retaliation back.
Well, but that's just it. That's not the truth.
It's not the truth.
It's not the truth at all, and I think that's where a lot of people get lost in it, and sometimes they lose their fight. They fight the wrong fight when they should be fighting a different fight. For example, um, take freedom of speech isn't it's a right given to us. It's in the Bill of Rights, and that's an agreement between us and our government.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with anywhere, everywhere.
Right.
Somebody come into my house and they start talking their shit, and I don't agree with it. I can say, hey, get the fuck out, and that's the consequence. Get the fuck out my house. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. They can tell me to get the fuck out their house. Um, I work for someone, and I do something or say something that's ill of their business or the image of their business, something they don't want to present, especially if it's a free work state. Um, they have the right to sever ties with me.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And freedom of speech doesn't protect that. Freedom of
No.
speech doesn't say, hey, I get to say you taking my freedom of speech and all that. Not necessarily. I think even down to I think there are gray areas. Like for example, I don't know if your workplace can force you to dress a certain way if they don't have a uniform code. Like for example, like for example, let's say at our previous at your job, let's say they hire someone who is a male today. He's in transition. He didn't tell anybody, but tomorrow he decides to just go with it.
Right.
I don't know if the job can force him to or her to go back to what they hired him as. You know what I'm saying? Like we hired you as a male, we need you to come to work as a male.
Yeah. I mean, I would like.
Because I don't know if that goes into sexual orientation
Yes.
more so than freedom of speech, but they can tell him he can't wear a shirt that says, "Hey, I am woman, hear me roar,
I mean that.
like it or lose it." You know what I'm saying? Like they can tell him that he can't do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. They can tell him that he can wear. They probably tell him he can't wear a T-shirt that has words on it.
You know what I'm
They tell him
saying?
he can't wear T-shirts or whatever. But
Or even along that list, like, look, I don't like that message. They might keep it broad just to be on the safe side,
right.
but I think a business can actually say, "Hey, I don't like that message." You know what I'm saying? And I don't want that message associated with my business. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, like, what if it's a daycare and they see him on Facebook wearing the shirt that says "I eat children"? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Eat your children. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
Exactly. So, they might be like, "Yay, whoa, that's weird. We don't want our customers to see you with that, know that you have that, and know that you work here, and know that we allow that to happen."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There could be repercussions for that. And so I don't think First Amendment protects all that, but they definitely a business definitely has the ability to mute you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And it's up to you to decide, "Hey, well, screw this business. Let me go get another job that is cool." You can, at this point, with the climate being the way that it is, when you go to your interview process, "Hey, are you the type that mute your employees? If so, then I don't want to work with you." All right, well, you can go work for mom and pop where they let you say what you want, but they not gonna pay you the big bucks.
Right.
You know what I mean? You
Right.
know what I
You
mean?
can't
So
settle. Yep.
yeah, so it may be a trade off depending on who you are.
Right.
Um, a lot of the situation with the Colin Kaepernick situation, technically the NFL could tell him, "Nah, bro, we don't." The kneeling, standing upping, and all that. I don't know. Even the colluding, I think that was more of and I'm going to be broad because I don't have all the information right now. It's been so long. But even I think that was more of a private matter than a public matter. And, you can sue anybody for anything you want in public, but,
Right.
you know, still, who wants all that?
Right.
So I think, like, that case, like, even when they settled, they didn't settle in a public court of law. They settled in a private situation. That's why nobody don't know the details.
Right.
But ultimately, any of those teams could have been like, hey, they were right. They had the right to say, we don't want you on our team if you don't stand for the national anthem. You know what I'm saying? As lame as that is, they had the right to do that. Now, and what's important about that is because when it comes to freedom of speech, you have two things. Because ultimately, you can still, being that it's not the government that can shut you down, you still can use your freedom of speech. You can go after they fire you or let you go. You can go on social media and you can say, "Hey, this is what happened. This is my story," and technically, there's nothing they could do about it other than spend money to silence you. You know what I mean? It's going to be a cost to them to silence you. Um, you can start your own company and become a competitor. You know, hire all their employees. You can, give them a bad Yelp review. You can do all those things, or you can boycott. And that's just the thing. Like, you can't protest a business. Protesting is for the government. You boycott a business. You speak with your money. You know what I'm saying? You speak with your time, your energy, your resources. So if all these people that kind of had beef with the NFL for Colin Kaepernick, none of them, they said, we're going to protest. Protest who?
Exactly.
Go to NFL offices and protest. That's not a
For
protest.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's the lesson learned?
Now, employees can protest, you know what I'm saying, to the people that they work for because they have a relationship with it.
They go on strike.
They go on strike, and the strike is a protest to a certain extent. But, or some might say it's a boycott. I don't really know.
Goes in between it.
I think it's a gray area. But the consumer, only thing you can do is boycott. Oh, I'm not watching Fox News, or I'm not going to an NFL game, or whatever the case may be. Now people pissed off at NASCAR. You know what I'm saying? I ain't doing NASCAR. What else you gonna do, bro? Like, you running out of shit, and there's a reason for that. But all these.
Hey, when that shit touch, man, I just do the running man.
What up, folks? It's your boy TMC here. Just wanted to give another PSA about budget. You have a budget. I have a budget. Hell, freaking dog catcher has a budget. We all have budgets. Key is working within those things, and sometimes being able to make more out of a little less. And you're just now starting out as an artist. Maybe you have a project in which you don't have a big budget for, or maybe you just want to do some behind the scenes stuff. Well, that's where we come in.
Glock 19, you don't want it, man. Gotta send a little 80 where you want it.
Guys, thanks for watching. And to see more T4J content, please visit TMC4JMC.com.
And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe down below.
That's what's up. Peace. Alrighty, so we got the CLBs away, the cute little babies, cute little babies. They're cute little babies today, since I have to put them away for a few hours. But excuse me. But anyway, what I was saying is you can't boycott you can't protest a business.
Right.
The only thing you could do is boycott. The only thing you could do is sever ties with the business. That's what boycotting is. Boycotting is, hey, look, you don't do this, we're going to sever ties with you. I guess you can do things like how they did back in the day with sit-ins and stuff like that. And I think those are things that might fall into two places, But that was a back in the day where resources and I guess options, you know what I'm saying, where things kind of blurred the line.
Yeah.
But protesting, that is for the government. Protesting is about inclusion. It's not about separating ties. Otherwise, you just separate ties. You sever a tie. See, protest is about, look, we're here. We're being treated shitty.
Right.
Where's the love? Our love is inadequate right now. Where's the love? It's not equal. count us in, stop counting us out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Treat us fair, things like that. And therefore, you're protesting your treatment. Boycotting, you just don't like the product anymore or what the product stands for or what it represents.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so it's those things that, with what's going on right now, anybody that you don't agree with, if it's the government, then you have to join. That's the reason why this movement has to have, it has to be louder. And it's like how Dave Chappelle said, the streets are doing a great job. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that is adding their voice to the voice is doing a good job. And it needs to be louder.
It does.
And it needs to drown out the bullshit. You know what I mean? Like when I was thinking about the title for the show and everything, how I always have a title or theme or whatever. And a lot of times I don't even think of it before the show, and it kind of comes to me when I'm re-listening to the show or while we even recording it. And this time I kind of felt like it was important to have something ahead of time. And of course, TMC4JMC show episode 110, Black Lives Matter or some shit like that. And
Yeah.
yeah, and
A lot of people have it.
no, I think that would have, it deserves a little bit more thought to
Yeah.
it.
I think it's just too general.
And yeah, or just, look, it ain't about pulling that low hanging fruit. You know what I'm saying? Damn it.
Right.
I want to climb some higher and grab some of the top branches and ask them some questions
Yeah.
and give them some answers. And so what was coming to me was, hey, the really where, are you the question or the answer? And right now there's a lot of people that are saying, hey, we need answers from our government as to what you're going to do to make shit right. And then there are people on the side that are saying that all they have is questions.
Right.
Well, why aren't you mad about that? Why aren't you mad about that? No, stop. Why aren't you mad about this? Why aren't you protesting that? Why aren't you this? What about this? This is part of our history. What are you going to do this? You're going to take down this? And it's like, all you got is fucking questions. You know what I'm saying? If all you have is questions, if all you have is anger, then that's the problem.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important that everybody has to say, hey, Black Lives Matter. Because that's the answer. The answer is if Black lives don't matter, then no fucking lives matter. The fact that Black Lives Matter is the answer, and the fact that it's a question, that is even questioned, is the problem. So if you have to, if there's something in you to where you have to separate it, to say, no, Black lives doesn't matter, all lives matter. You know what I'm saying? Then there's something wrong there.
Right.
And that's where, if you listen to, that's what happens. No, Black lives don't matter, all lives matter.
But all
You
lives
can,
don't matter.
you can't say no, Black lives don't matter. Maybe you want to say, yes, Black lives do matter because all lives matter. You skating a thin line. If you want to say, yes, Black lives do matter because that's the only way all lives matter, then yes. I can't say, if you can't say Black lives matter, then I can't say Asian lives matter. I can't say Latino lives matter. Yes, they do. In my heart, they do.
Absolutely.
In my heart, all lives matter. Even fucking bad lives matter.
Yeah.
But if you can't say Black lives matter, then you can't say my life matter. And if you can't say my life matter, then I can't say your life matters because I'm too busy trying to live. I'm too busy trying to fight the people that say my life don't matter, or the people who can't say my life matters. Not being able to say something is worse than saying the opposite. You know what I'm saying? The person that can't say Black Lives Matter is no better than the person that says Black Lives don't matter. They're both the same. They're both the same. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's a science to it, how -2 and 2 are combined, or connected some way. You know? So, yeah. So that's where that's the reason why it's important. And it's not a matter of opinion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a matter of fact. It's important that it's said, it's heard, and that it gets louder. It's important that people start becoming answers rather than questions. Just constant questioning.
Right.
Why is about this? Why about that? Why about then you are deliberately slowing things down. You're not poised. You're not motivating, provoking thought. No. You're fucking bottlenecking shit.
Yeah.
And then the question is why? But eventually that question will go away and it just be go away. You're not useful. So that was some of the things.
Very important. By the way, I've been staring at your shirt this whole time because it's really, really cute.
Yeah,
It came out very nice. I love it.
I really like this. I think we're gonna offer this. It's Black Lives Matters to really wear. Once again, it falls into on the back. It says it asks, "Are you the question or are you the answer?"
Yeah.
This is basically our swoop, like Nike. You know what I'm saying? If you see, the swoosh. If you see the exclamation point, question mark, then
Yeah.
then that's really wear, and that's what really wear is all about. Really where it's about. I think we're taking that, and it's less of a brand per se, and it's more of a movement. It's more of an expression of, hey, it's time for some thinking going on. Sure, free thinking, but hey, if you could be a free thinker, but all ideas, the good ones,
Absolutely.
go on and shine. The bad ones get the light, and they can't stand to the cross examination.
And it's about coming up with solutions. There are plenty of questions.
Exactly.
And we need more answers.
And we need more answers, and that's what really where it's about. So all proceeds, but not a portion of proceeds, we have some causes that we
Some great fun.
that we give some proceeds to, and hopefully we can sell more and give more.
Absolutely.
And and just things like that. We'll give out more information about how to support T4J later on in the show and in future shows. But ultimately, this one is our Black Lives Matter. We have it in black with white lettering. So it's important, man. It's important that people get involved.
Yeah.
Get involved with the local level things, because in the end, everything that's going on, if you notice, has been local stuff. Sure, the president is doing what he's doing, but the bad shit that's going to happen to you is going to happen to you on your block.
Absolutely. Let's stand up for something. Let's make some noise and let's make them give them some results.
Exactly. Thanks for watching. And to see more T4J content, please visit TMC4JMC.com. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff, because we appreciate your support. All right? Peace. Cool.